Welcome and thank
Welcome and thank you for joining us for the City of Spokane
first Women and Leaders Table Talk. The City of Spokane is represented by women leaders with our mayor, 5 council members, and 2 municipal court judges. Our region is also well represented by women leaders in Washington, D.C., with our 2 senators and 1 representative. Vice President Kamala Harris. Can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
But now I have
the echo.
How's that?
How's that? How's that? How's that? How's that?
Take a picture.
Yeah, but they're saying they can't hear me.
No, they'll be able to hear you because we're running the audio through the dais. So if you just kill your audio through the computer altogether.
I don't know if the viewers can hear us, but we want to apologize for the technical difficulties, and we'll get those sorted out and be right with you.
So start talking.
Okay, is this better? Okay, so I'm going to, today we will discuss what it means to have women in leadership at all levels and what impact women leaders are having in our communities.
Still on mute, Melissa.
They can't hear me.
Do you have, unmute her on your computer down there?
Okay, is this working
Okay,
now?
is this working now?
Lots of echo. Is she talking through the microphone on her computer or the one in the chambers?
As women, this is where we would welcome Council Member Kate Burke. She would talk us through our technical difficulties at this
She would
time.
have fixed it
Yeah,
like
so,
3 minutes ago, yes.
yeah. You're Miss Kate.
So while they're getting the technical pieces worked out, I don't know whether or not viewers are able to watch us right now, but we did receive a very nice communication from the mayor, who apologizes for not being here. I don't know if it would be appropriate. Let me see if the viewers can hear us, and maybe it'd be appropriate for one of us to read that. I'll see if I can get some feedback. Okay, they can hear us. Does someone have that up, that nice letter from Mayor Woodward? Could someone get that up and want to read it? Do you have it, Karen?
I just pulled it up.
Would you mind reading that?
Yes, I will read it. So what the mayor has done is put together a brief statement because she is unable to be here today. So I'm just going to read what was presented to us. Good evening to everyone who has joined us for this important celebration and discussion. Thank you to the council members for organizing tonight's table talk and for inviting me. I have the pleasure of spending time with each of these 3 great women and community leaders. Many of you may not know that we talk regularly about city business, things we are working on, and our interests outside of the office. Those conversations are great moments to focus on the important work we are doing on behalf of the community, and I was looking forward to sharing some of that tonight in celebration of women in leadership. This panel of women are part of many, many others who are important to Spokane's history and story. That includes the 6 women on my cabinet team and the many others who hold leadership positions within our broader organization. It also includes community organizations like Greater Spokane, the Public Facilities District, Visit Spokane, and the NAACP, which are all currently led by women. I can't overemphasize how important it is for young girls, women preparing to enter the workforce, and those who have begun to shape their careers to see women leaving their mark on the city, state, and country. Hopefully, these conversations will help keep each of us dreaming big and achieving big. Tonight's conversation will undoubtedly be wide-ranging, provide valuable insights, and be thought-provoking. So you are in for a real treat. I'm sorry that I will miss this because you would have seen all of us have a lot more in common than being women in leadership roles. And even though we disagree on occasion, we do it respectfully and through conversation. Bringing people together, especially in times of disagreement, is really important to me and something we have prioritized as leaders. Enjoy your evening with these women and know that I wish I could be there. Thank you. Mayor Woodward.
Councilmember Mom, you know, you and I are both former broadcasters and we abhor dead air, so I'm wondering if we should start the program, and then when it's up and running, when we've got our co-hosts back, we can resume. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. Let's start with introductions. So I'm Council President Pro Tem Candace Mumm,
What's that?
and I represent the Northwest District, District 3. This is my 8th year in office, and my seatmate, we just heard, was Councilmember Stratton. Do you want to introduce yourself and then kick it to the next person?
Yep. Good afternoon. My name is Karen Stratton, and I am the council representative for District 3, which is Northwest Spokane. I serve right alongside Candace. And I am going to pass it over to Councilmember Wilkerson.
Good afternoon, and welcome to my fellow council mates. I'm Councilmember Betsy Wilkerson. I'm in District 2, Position 2, and I will pass it on to my seatmate, Councilmember Kinnear.
Thank you, Councilmember Wilkerson. I'm Lori Kinnear. I represent District 2, and this is starting my 6th year in office, so after the end of 2023, I'm termed out. That's it for me. And I'm really looking forward to deep dive into some of the issues that we have before us tonight.
I will send it back to our co-host, who I think is up with the right microphone, and we'll introduce Melissa Morrison, who is our housing policy advisor in our council office. And also, we did read the mayor's statement, so we did get that on so everyone could hear. And we didn't mention that Kate Burke also has a statement, so I don't know when you wanted to read that, but we'll pass it back to you.
Thank you. So can everyone hear me now? No?
It's pretty low, but we can hear you. I think the audience might be able to hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
yes.
think you need to unmute.
Speak louder, that's all.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, Jacoby for the win. He is. Thank you. So thank you all, everyone, for joining us. And another thing we wanted to highlight today, today is Equal Pay Day for Women. It marks how long into 2021 the average woman would have to work in order to earn the same income as the average man did in 2020. Because women earn less on average than men, they must work longer for the same amount of pay. The wage gap is even more for most women of color. And so something we wanted to highlight today in this conversation, that it also happens to coincide with Equal Pay Day for Women. Councilwoman Burke was not able to join us, but she did have a statement she wanted me to share, so I'll go ahead and share from Councilwoman Burke. My capacity for empathy in the lives of other human beings has been a huge driving force in my time on council. I love interacting with people, talking about their brilliant ideas, and just connecting to my fellow community members. We are public servants, and our constituents know our city best. We have to continue to listen and learn from them and work for them. Having the majority of our elected officials to be women is amazing. We have all worked so hard to get where we are. It's inspiring to work alongside with so many other women. Ageism and sexism still exist. Just from my own experience as an elected official, I'm a young woman, and people aren't used to seeing a vocal, outspoken young woman in a position of power. We're supposed to be tame and docile and submissive, but it's a new era, and I'm proud to be part of a group of women, not only here in Spokane, but nationwide, that proves that they get things done. We are 100% the future, and we've worked very hard to get this far, and there's still much more work to be done. So, thank you all for introducing yourselves. I appreciate the help there. And so what I wanted to do today is I have some questions. I'll direct them specifically to the different council members and then open it up for discussion for everyone else. And so, starting with Councilmember Mumm, you have been a great voice for gender pay equity within City Hall. Which benchmarks have been reached in our gender and racial equity report, and what policies would help continue to close the gap?
Well, I wish I could tell you that a lot of the benchmarks had been met, and they haven't. About 6 years ago, Councilmember Stratton and I worked very hard to sort of assess what the situation was in terms of fairness for women and people of color in the city of Spokane, and we were unhappy to see that we were not starting at a great spot. So we started a lot of endeavors, had a list of things. I think there were 33 things that we as a city could do, and quite frankly, we couldn't accomplish very many of them. And it led to a lot of confrontation that was uncomfortable and difficult. Sometimes it spilled out into the news and on the paper sometimes, in the newspaper, but we didn't back down, and we still have so much more to accomplish. When we did this initial assessment, we hadn't hired a female firefighter in 10 years. I'm happy to say that has changed. We have changed our recruiting, we have changed our testing and made it more fair, and we have hired more women than we've hired probably in the history of the fire department. Same with our police department. We changed our marketing, we changed our approach, and I think we made some inroads there. But when we did a recent assessment of our boards and commissions, we found still lacking. We have a lot of white males who tend to have enough free time to be on our boards and commissions. And so sometimes the council has had to do the uncomfortable work of holding the line and saying we're not really interested in appointing people that all look like each other and are all about the same age and the same gender. And we have put pressure on the administration to work with us to create more spaces for people of color and for women. And I think it's important. We have over 20 boards and commissions that advise us. And besides elected officials, we also need to have those advisors. I will say in the administration side, more people have been hired. I've seen more women in leadership, which I'm very glad to see. But I want to kick it over to Councilmember Stratton because she has the insight of working inside City Hall before she came on council and can talk about the evolution of both of those issues.
So Councilmember Mumm really framed it well, and she's absolutely correct. We haven't made a lot of inroads. I will say that what's most disappointing to me as somebody that worked as an employee and has been in City Hall for a while, we still have instances where a male department head is making more than a female. And I think the only way that we're going to confront that and try and make some positive change is really sitting down and looking at our salary scales, the job descriptions. I know a lot of them need to be updated, but I think that if we can get information and have those open discussions, we may be able to make a change. I also think that we're not doing well with diversity. in City Hall, and that's another big issue for us. So I think it's keeping our hands on the ball and asking questions when we need to ask questions. But at some point, we're going to have somebody sit down in human resources and go through position descriptions and level out those steps in salaries, because I don't think that there's been much that's been accomplished since we started doing this.
I think I'll mention it also. Part of the problem is the entry level amount when they get hired. So they go, well, how could that happen in government, right? It's supposed to be blind to those sort of things. Well, what happens is there's a range, and the women tend to be hired at the lower end of the range, and the men tend to be hired at the higher end of the range. So they're starting in different places. And then that just continues and continues. And then also promotions. Women are not being promoted maybe as much, and there's a lot of factors into why that is, but sometimes it's that, I'll just say it, men are not shy promoting themselves, and sometimes they promote themselves to positions that maybe they don't quite have all the skill sets, and women in general, tend to be a little more close to the vest, a little more humble, perhaps, and don't necessarily tout themselves or sign up for something that they don't feel completely confident and comfortable in knowing that they can handle the task. So I think that plays into it as well. But there are a lot of factors why there is this disparity. We did a wage comparative inside City Hall as well and found exactly what you see nationwide. Is women are making about 78 cents on the dollar. I saw recently it's now 81 cents, but I'm not sure that's the case in Spokane.
I'd like to chime in, too. Both of you have done an incredible job. And when we had the kickoff, the thing that stuck in my head was the cookie sale. And we were charging men $1 for cookies and women 77 cents. And the men were coming up, hey, wait a minute, no. Well, dude, here it is. This is why you're being charged more. And that demonstration really drove home the point, I think, to a lot of our coworkers. I would also say that some of the conditions at City Hall were not conducive to hiring women. And Councilmember Munn was instrumental in getting a nursing station on board and a private place to nurse. Before that, it was go to the bathroom and do that. We're still deficit, and I've been looking at how we can do this, but creating a way for women who have children that need childcare. Why can't we do that at City Hall? Why do they have to go someplace else, drop their children off, and then come to work? That would be such a benefit to the women that we hire. So I don't think we're done yet. I think we need to really think even more outside of the box. How can we make it easier for women to actually be employed at the city? I'd love to hear from Councilmember Wilkerson.
Well, thank you. I was going to say another barrier is we don't allow part-time employment. And so we may have a mom who is full-time and chooses then to stay home with her family and would like to come back part-time and stay in the workforce, but we don't provide that. So we know we have some conversations we need to have with our civil service, and we are looking at that because that's another barrier, not only for women, but for people who want to be semi-retired, and we are losing out on experienced workforce.
And I will just say about the mayor, she's been tasked with a lot of things right out of the gate, COVID and those kinds of things. And we did deliver the report to her and her staff, her city administrator, Wes Crago, to let them know we are ready to start this conversation with the new administration right now. And there has been a delay, but now we have hired a new city administrator, and I expect all of us will be having these conversations again And I would like to just put out there, because I know we're all working on it, I can't wait to cut the ribbon on the changing stations in our bathrooms for children. We've all worked on this, and if you can believe, I think it's been 7 years we have worked to get changing stations in our bathrooms for the public, and for folks that have kids that work here that come to visit. So there's a lot to do, and we're the women to get it done.
Thank you all. Councilwoman Kinnear, do you see opportunities for women opening up more in Spokane? From both your experience as an elected leader and your various leadership roles and professional experience?
Melissa, I couldn't hear that, sorry.
Do you see opportunities for women opening up more in Spokane from your experience as an elected leader, various leadership roles, and professional experience?
I do, but I'm impatient as to the speed. And so I think we need to start at an earlier age. I think we need to start working with kids in maybe 5th or 6th grade, talking about opportunities. And opportunities not just as elected leaders, but other types of jobs that are maybe not traditionally for women. And I especially think, some of you probably took shop in high school. That's not a thing anymore. And I think we need to look at untraditional positions for women. It's okay if you want to be a plumber and you're female. It's okay if you want to be an electrician. It's okay if you want to be an electrical engineer. And I think we need to normalize those jobs and those careers so that girls who want and are interested in STEM types of programs aren't marginalized. We have to normalize this. And so by the time they get into junior high, high school, and even into maybe a trade school or college, it's not a big deal. It's just something that, this is my interest, this is what I want to do. So I'm always the person that wants to go faster. We're moving, but not fast enough.
So, Melissa, I will comment on that. And just for everyone, they always say we want to do a shortcut. We don't want a shortcut. We just want the same opportunities that's afforded everyone else. And I will say, for the city, we have to really look at our apprenticeship programs and really do outreach for women and some of the self-inflicted barriers that we have put up. So in talking with the trades, they would love to have more women. Now, how many moms can really get up and go to a job site at 5 a.m. when you've got kids to get off to school? I mean, that's a reality, but it's a barrier. And then, like Councilmember Kinnear said, how do we normalize that so she's not the only one on the site and may have to possibly face sex discrimination? Because we have to admit that still exists in our society when we are one of one in many spaces still, and we see it today. So the city could look at how it could be more flexible and how we hold ourselves to the commitment for the apprenticeship programs that we contract out with these big jobs, big money. So we have to lead. I believe the city needs to lean in and lead more in that.
I will just add that a couple years ago with the AGC program, the Head Start to Construction Trades, they had several classes, the 6-week programs that were all women. And one class, the city hired 2 of those women after they graduated, which I was thrilled. And with everything going on right now, I haven't really caught up or stayed up on, those numbers and how many of those apprentices coming out of programs are being hired. But that's something we should continue to look at to see where they're being hired, how many are women. It would be interesting to see if they're still able to to pull those numbers together and get women in those courses.
I think I'll just take this opportunity to say the city of Spokane is a great place to work. It has excellent benefits, and there's a wide variety of jobs to choose from. And I'm not sure it's a place maybe people first think about. It is government, but it's really public service. So if you like serving people, there are lots of jobs to do that. There's certainly, other types of mechanical jobs and that sort of thing, but it's all really serving the citizens of Spokane. You interface with the public, and it can be a lot of fun. And maybe it's even, a summertime job for a younger person, but it pays well. And like I said, there are great medical benefits. You get holidays off generally. And I hope you take a look at our website and think about the jobs. And women, when you're applying and you get in there to negotiate, don't start at the bottom and take the lowest pay. Ask for the top pay. The guys all do it.
And I'll concur, Councilmember Hmong. The service lines that the city offers to make this city run are just amazing. I mean, everything from tech, down to the garbage collectors. It just runs the gamut. So there is probably opportunity somewhere in the city for employment.
Thank you all. And I think, another part of the conversation that I think would be interesting to have with our city leaders is that we talked a lot about how to encourage girls to go into STEM and some of the trade, but how do we also bring up the wages of traditionally women's jobs? Jobs like caregiving and childcare that have historically been done by women, but have not been paid family living wages the same way that some of the trades have. And does the city have a role in trying to advocate for kind of flipping that narrative?
Absolutely. The city could set the example. I mean, we need some entities like the city, like larger businesses in Spokane, to step up and set that example for people to see, and then to encourage the community to follow along. I mean, I think we could do a lot there.
I will say with COVID this year, and so many kids being at home with their parents, that there is a new appreciation for school educators, daycare workers across the board, because that is really challenging work. And I'm glad to see at the state level we're talking about subsidies on child care. That will be significant for us going forward. I think as a city, we can lean in and support the increase in child care rates.
I would add, I want to piggyback up off of what Councilmember Stratton said, and we need to set an example. We also should identify partners who perhaps have deeper pockets than the city and ask them to set the example. So maybe we contact Avista, and maybe we contact Providence or whomever it is, and the most they could say is yes, the worst they could say is no. But we need to find out who are those partners we have in the community that could move the ball forward and get us on a better track, especially when it comes to teachers, child care workers. I can't think of a more important job than to raise a child. You're raising a future citizen of this country. It is very important. So we need to compensate people who are doing that appropriately.
I will just end with, as we look at recovery, this is a conversation from some of our downtown businesses of them coming together and providing child care, because who is going to take care of the children of their employees? And if they don't provide that, they could be losing out on a workforce that will be greatly needed.
Councilwoman Stratton, your mother was a historic, dynamic leader in our state. How did your mom influence you in your path?
Wow. Big influence. My mother was a firecracker, is what I used to call her. But part of that was because of where she came from. My mom was born and raised in Wellpinit, by a mother and a father who spent their whole lives on the reservation. They had 12 kids. My mother there were 7 sisters altogether. So they were strong women. My aunts, my grandma, strong women. And they knew if they were going to go to school, continue their education after high school, that they had to leave the reservation and go off on their own and make their way. And that's what all of them did. And my mom was somebody that could be very kind and very open-minded, but she was very driven. And when she had a point to prove, she had no problem proving it. I used to work with her. I worked 3 sessions with her in Olympia, and never once saw her back down from a male of the same level as she is, who is yelling and screaming at her because he's angry at her. She'd go nose to nose with anybody. But that really was, in my household, how I was raised, was that you can do anything, but you sometimes have to fight for it. And you can't back down. You have to be confident, and you have to do, at that moment, the right thing, and you will always know what that right thing is. And so I was very, very lucky to have that dynamic. One of the sessions I worked with her, I remember I was in awe because it was when Dixie Lee Ray was governor. And so not only was I surrounded, because back then there were a few women legislators, but then we had a governor who was a strong, very smart woman, and she used to walk her poodle around the Capitol grounds, and so I would kind of show up and walk and talk to her just to learn from her. But I just think there's that focus and confidence and doing the right thing that really made an impact on me. And watching somebody like my mom never, ever, ever give up. She had a lot of pain in her life. There was, times when she was tired. She raised 5 kids while she was, working full time and then on the side doing all this political work. But she made us part of it, and we participated whether we liked it or not. But we learned so much from that. We learned to be involved in our communities and treat people with respect and feel like we did belong, that if we wanted to make a change, we had to roll up our sleeves and do it. So, yeah, and there are a lot of women in Spokane that I think we have learned, or I have learned so much from as they rise to levels of leadership. So I've been pretty blessed. I'll let anybody else chime in if you want.
I'll talk about my mom.
Before you do that, Councilmember, I just want to add something.
Yeah.
Councilmember Stratton, your mom was an inspiration to all of us. And every time I got to speak with her, she was so supportive and so funny, and her sense of humor was endless. I'm pretty sure she's probably sitting, it says Jacoby Bird, but I'm pretty sure that's really Lois Stratton, because she's sitting right here. So I just wanted to insert that. Go ahead, Councilor.
I was going to say one more thing, and then Candace. The other thing that I learned from my mom, and I'm so glad that I did, I learned it early, and sometimes it's hard to do, but she would always say, never tear down another woman. You need that support, and you need that strength. And I never forgot that. And when she ran for mayor, and Sherry Barnard was running for re-election, and Mom was in the race, I was so proud of those 2 women because they had lunch. They talked on the phone. It wasn't this headbutting, tearing people down. They collaborated. And so to be able to see that example of 2 women who respect each other and who are intelligent and know what they want to do, there was never a bad word said between the 2 of them. And I think that was powerful. And that will always be powerful to me. Go ahead, Candace.
Well, I think that's a great parallel over here. I mean, we really do support each other. I remember Lois being at my kickoff. She was there. She was there supporting me. She didn't know me very well, but she was there. And I had the honor of being at several of yours as well. We support each other and support smart, strong, intelligent women in office, and even support them, in other ways outside of the community as well. But we are inspired by the strong women in our past, and we, those of us that had our moms for a long time, they're just who we are. I mean, they made us who we are. My mom's still alive. In fact, I'm going to do something special with her coming up in the next couple of weeks, and we love doing special trips together and that sort of thing. But I've also had grandmothers. Grandmothers can be very inspirational to you, too. And if you look back in your own personal history, grandmothers did some amazing things in the West. My one grandmother, who was Norwegian, she lived in Montana and beat out all the boys for valedictorian in the 1920s. I mean, that wasn't easy to do. And got to give the speech at her graduating class. And I'm so proud of her for all of her achievements. She got her master's in library science and opened up a lot of libraries in the Spokane area. My other grandmother grew up on a farm, slept on a straw mattress growing up. Sometimes it was outside. There were so many kids in her house. And then raised a family, had to quit high school and raise a family. And then when her husband went off to war, she went to work and worked at the Sprouse Reeds up on the north side, the Five and Dime, and elevated to manager. And she was going to town. She was the female manager of a store. That was a huge deal. Except when the war was over, they came back and said, oh, well, you're a woman. You're taking away a job from a man. And so she lost her job. And I look at what they had to go through. And then my mom, who was educated, the first person in her family to graduate from college, she got her first teaching degree, and she got pregnant with me. And, they wouldn't let pregnant teachers in the classes because that was not a good example. So she could work, and at the time it didn't seem like, well, that's the way it is. Well, that's the way it was. So when you look back at the hard-fought things that the women in your life have had to overcome, I think it's important for us to tell these stories, to tell the stories about how hard it was. I mean, Lois, there wasn't a women's bathroom, right, that she could use in the State House. I mean, it seems incredible. But these are stories we need to tell because women have come a long way and fought for a lot of freedoms. And we can't backslide. We can't go back to losing those. And I'm fear for COVID maybe causing that to happen. And so we need all of us to hold each other up.
I will say my mom was a minister, and she always talked about God adds and multiplies. So that was her mantra in life. But she was the first black female minister to have her own church in Spokane. And in the black community, as in many, in the faith community, that's very male-dominated. And so it was a struggle for her because she was always kind of on the outside of the conversations. But what my mom taught me was about servant leadership before servant leadership was a buzzword. We just take care of people. And I find most women just do it because it's the right thing to do. We never seek recognition for the work and the care of others or our leadership roles. I find it interesting, even on this screen, none of us will really talk about our accomplishments because it's not something that we just do. We just do the work, and then we go forward. So I just know that we are setting a good role model for hopefully the women who are coming behind us.
So I will go last. My mom was one of 8. She grew up very poor in Seattle before Seattle was a thing, right? And so she was a child of the Depression and made do. She always resented having to wear hand-me-down dresses and hand-me-down clothes because she was one of the middle children. And she was a scrapper. She fought. And she was determined that her lot in life was going to be better than it was. And so she married my dad, who came from a very wealthy family, and brought herself out of that hole, which she perceived was poverty. And as an only child, I was the focus of all the attention and determination that I was going to succeed. So it wasn't as if I had an option to slough off or be a slacker in any way, because I was the focus of that attention. And I can remember my mom lived to be 92. However, the last 8 years of her life, she had a stroke, and she couldn't communicate with me. And so I think about that. That was taken away from me. That relationship was taken away because I could talk to her, but she couldn't respond back. But I think if she were alive now, she'd be amazed at how far women have come. But she used to say, Lori, when I was working, I couldn't get into the elevator with certain men in the office because I would have been molested, and everybody knew who they were. And I didn't believe her. I thought, that can't be. And as I came to find out, yes, it could be. People would derogatory comments on her desk based on, she was an ardent Catholic, and so there would be anti-Catholic literature on her desk. I said, no, that would have been illegal. She said, no, not at all. It was accepted. Men could do that. So when I think about that, we've come a long way, and we shouldn't take our gains for granted, but at the same time, we should be moving forward and making sure that that never happens to anybody again. So that's the lesson that I learned. And sorry, Mom, I didn't believe you, but wow, yeah, it was true.
Yeah, thank you all. And I think it's great to talk about our moms and that sense of how they were real leaders for us and inspirations. And they may not be in the history books, all of them, but that doesn't make what they did any less. That women in our lives in every way, they really had to fight for a lot of things that goes unrecognized and unspoken. So those are some great stories to share. Councilwoman Wilkerson, your newest role is on council, but you have also been a longtime Black business owner and community advocate. How are you navigating all three new different roles, especially in your specific industry of mental health and caregiving?
Wow, Melissa, that's a heavy one right there. You know, the first thing I will say is being African American, you know, we have been taught to follow the rules. You know, we've been indoctrinated. We go by the book. So in my world, before I get to government, in my world as a provider of mental health services, it's like, okay, if I'm going to be a mental health provider, I'm going to go by all the rules the state has given to me, all those WAC codes, and provide the best care for the people I'm charged with. And so then I would just accept what they would pay me. Well, I come to find out that there are other folks who are behind the scenes negotiating their what we call daily rates of care. And I'm thinking, but I'm doing the exact same thing, and you're making twice as much money as I am for that? And it was kind of that little secret. And I didn't know that until somebody actually told me, no, Betsy, that's not how it works. And predominantly all males, and thank goodness we do have allies, you know, so there are men out there who are on our side who educated me to that fact, because I was just happy doing what I thought we were supposed to be doing. So it has been challenging. My family, my mom, started the first Black-owned assisted living. We called it group homes back then, and then they were congregate care. Now they're assisted living. In 1976. So here was a Black woman who didn't have a high school diploma, who went out and got an SBA loan and bought a home that had been for unwed mothers, ran by the Salvation Army. That's when times changed. So it has been a journey, and my mom was a hard act to follow because she was so well known. But now I've been there many years, I know how to lean in and ask the questions. And it's like, I'm not just fighting for me, for my livelihood. I have employees too that I want the most where I can compensate them and to provide the best care for the people that I have in charge with. So they deserve that too. So equity has been important. And people will say, well, Betsy, are you code switching? I am not code switching. I'm communicating with people on the level where they're at. So that's been important. That's also been important for me in government. People try to say, oh, you're one way here and one way there. I said, no, I do not talk to my sixth grade grandchildren like I talk to my high school niece or nephew. That just doesn't make sense. So if I'm using the right terminology and the right words to get people to understand the issue and the challenge and to meet them where they're at, that's what I call communication effectively. So it's straddling the fence. I haven't fallen off because of the other women on this screen that have been extremely supportive. And thank God my hair is short, because I would have pulled it out by now with some of the challenges that we have faced. So, it's just being in that space. And I think it's, after a while, we just become self-assured, and we're doing it for the right reason. So it's like, okay, bring it on, because I know I'm right, and I'm going to fight for this because it's the right thing to do. Was I passionate about that? Sorry.
And to open that up to the other three, how do you see kind of the different roles you've had in your life navigating that as a councilwoman, but then also the professional and trying to learn and change through those different roles?
I think that Betsy made a great point, because I was taught to, if you want professional relationships, if you want to be part of a movement of change, if you want to get involved to make things better, you always meet people where they're at. And I think that's been, for me, one of the biggest positives about just automatically knowing that if I want to learn something, or if a constituent has an issue, I'll go to them. I'll go to their house and have coffee and talk with them. And the ones that I like the most, which sounds really weird, are the ones that are angry and they don't like me. They've made up their minds they don't like politics. They don't like Spokane City Council. And those are the ones that I really challenge myself to, let's meet for coffee, or, what else can I do to help you? Because I think the more you're able to do that, it breaks down all of the static in between people and the egos and all of that. And then you're just two people talking, and you're two people that can even disagree and walk away feeling like, okay, I did what I went there to do. I have no ill feelings. Next, what can I do next? But I think Betsy really hit that it's, for me, that's always worked, and not being afraid to just jump into it and say, okay, I'm here to learn. You're going to have to tell me what the issues are. And that's helped me in every job, every profession that I've had.
I'll just briefly talk about neighborhoods. That's where I got my start, was involved in some things that were happening in my neighborhood that I saw outside interests, I saw lobbyists, I saw big money coming in, powerful people making decisions for the neighborhoods and kind of, basically threatening the whole character of the neighborhood. So I got involved. And I think that's one of the things that makes Spokane very special. Mayor Garrity helped set up the neighborhood council system that we currently have, which functions so well. So it breaks up our 3 districts into 29 distinct neighborhoods. I think that's the number we're at now. and they were built off geography, history, character. You know, you've got Brown's Addition, you've got Hilliard's, you've got Audubon, Downriver, and it's really a great way to bring neighbors together that maybe never would meet. And they come now because of COVID. Actually, we have better attendance at some of the meetings because people can zoom in and hear about what's happening at the city. They can have talks with us. They can have talks with city leaders. And I think in terms of going forward and how it makes it work, if there's ever a question about, boy, which way should we go on this decision, you know who to pick up the phone and call. You can call those neighborhoods and tap into people who are really living the experience of the decisions that we're having, and you hear what it would mean to them. And I think that's one of the great things that Spokane has that's going to continue to make it be a great place to live, is because you really are connected to your neighborhoods and your community. And like Karen said, you can go have coffee with them and work it out. And you can have those one-on-one conversations with them. And you really have, I think, one of the most connected city councils ever to our community because of that right now.
Councilmember Mum, I absolutely agree with you. And I started working with our neighborhood council in Seattle because at the time Seattle was going through what was to become an unprecedented boom in housing. That was when the whole Microsoft thing started in the 90s, and Bill Gates made the decision, I'm not going to Albuquerque, I'm going to stay in Seattle, and created this mushroom effect of growth. And the neighborhoods felt it the most. And at that time, the city council in Seattle and the mayor in Seattle were just concentrating on working with the developers. This had a big voice. And so I got my learning done there. So by the time I moved to Seattle in 2000, and we had issues in our neighborhood with the city council and the mayor at the time cutting down 23 trees on Bernard and widening it so it was like a super freeway going to downtown. And I can remember standing outside and with 20 other residents with a picket sign stopping the big machinery from doing their work because you can't do that to our neighborhood. And I think back on that now, that was absolutely crazy. We could have been crushed to death. But nonetheless, there we were. And as you go through and you pick up information, you're assimilating all this information, you're collecting from the people around you, and you're learning from the people around you. And I made this comment to a reporter recently. He said, well, shouldn't you be making decisions for your neighborhood? Shouldn't you be educating, that was the word he used, educating the people in the neighborhood as to what they need? And I said, no. I said, education works both ways. They're educating me. I will give them my opinion, but I want to hear back from them because ultimately it's not about me, it's about who I represent. And I think that piece is lost on a lot of folks. It's not about us. And we are, as Councilmember Wilkerson said, we are, what'd you say, we are not civil servants, we are servant
leaders. Servant leadership?
Servant leaders. Servant leadership. And I had to say that over and over again most recently, and I'm wondering, am I this broken record, or am people stopping, they're not listening anymore? But I think it's really important that we don't lose sight of that. And if anybody is going to get into politics based on their own opinions and what they want to get done, I'd ask you to take another look at what the people in your neighborhood and your district want. It's not about you.
Alyssa, I will say as women on council, I think that's the strength we bring because there has been, from my understanding, an unprecedented amount of collaboration this year trying to meet the needs of the citizens as they come before us. And women, for the most part, have always been willing to share power. Most of us are not power hoarders. We are willing to lean in where we can support and work with each other. And I can speak for me, some folks get hung up on that title, council member or whatever your title may be. Really, that's really not what most of us are in this for. Titles are just can be a barrier to the people we're trying to serve. So I think as women, we work very hard to just be accessible and compassionate. And for the most part, women are really good listeners. So.
So the last question for everyone is, if you had a theme song, what would it be? Or if you have a theme song, what is it?
I'm every woman, it's all in me. That's Chaka Khan, people, just so you know.
So my song is whatever Karen chooses to sing.
Do you know, I started my morning off at a meeting. I won't say which one. I was so excited because the meeting started off with Petula Clark singing "When You're Alone in Life." Yeah.
Downtown?
Downtown. Yeah. Yeah. Boy, that's a tough question. I mean, Candace, what's your theme song?
Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Ain't No Mountain High. Lori.
I just, when somebody asks me my favorite, I've got about 25. I
know, right?
That's why I deferred to you.
I
What is
think
your-
like Send in the Clowns or I Will Survive or something, some old song from the 70s.
Well, and I've been watching Genius Aretha and all of the beautiful music that she made. So I would say any Aretha Franklin song is going to be my theme song.
Can I say RESPECT?
Find out what you do. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
And with that,
I would just like to, I see we've got just a couple minutes left. I want to make a pitch because I hope there are some women watching still. We're getting a little nutty here. I got to tell you, we need your help. We have openings all the time on our boards and commissions, and it's a way for you to plug in. You may not be able to run for office because it is a big, huge time commitment. It's full-time. When they tell you it's part-time, they're not telling you the truth. But part-time work, or if you think maybe down the road you might be interested in office, please go on to our SpokaneCity.org website, go to boards and commissions, and you can see all the different things where you can plug in and help us. You can be on the park board, you can be on the bicycle advisory board, and maybe it's not even something that you know a lot about, but you can bring your skill set to us. We need more women from all over the city to please apply for boards and commissions for the city of Spokane. We need your help.
thank you all, and thank you for everyone for joining us. I'm hoping that we can have some more of these conversations and take some of the things that we talked about and really start pushing it forward in the city, because we have lots of women to do it and to get the job done. So thank you all very much.